I'm Nick, and this is Caroline, and we're live from Calafia News.
One of tonight's topics include ISIS and the US coalition. It has been announced that ISIS is now fully operational in 18 countries. One of the areas where the US has expanded their airstrikes include Libya. According to Fox News, a reporter known as Carter calls ISIS a cancer. He believes that the US should do more and increase the strength of the military. The military is the key component to stopping ISIS because they are the ones that are fighting against ISIS.
You know, Caroline, Carter had also mentioned that he met some defense ministers at an Air Force base nearby and used them to up their game to eliminate this cancer. He wants the military to have stronger forces and better weaponry to stop ISIS. If the US stops ISIS, the largest terrorist group as of right now, then this could strike fear into much smaller terrorist groups. By doing this, it allows the US to stop the rest of the terrorist groups, decreasing the amount of overall terrorism in the US.
There have been several attacks by ISIS within the US. Our citizens have been fearful of ISIS due to their actions. How do you think these terrorist groups should be stopped? Let's find out now by going to Sean Terzian.
Thank you, Caroline. We are here with Mr. Gary Brown from the Heritage Foundation, a conservative policy organization. Mr. Brown, what do you think the U.S. should do to stop ISIS?
It's a good question, Sean, and I got a quick answer for you. Boots on the ground. The United States has the greatest military force that's ever been assembled in the history of mankind. I think it would be very criminal for us not to use that force as a beacon of hope, liberty, and justice throughout the world.
Interesting. Do you think they should strengthen the military forces and weapons, and why?
The United States?
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, our defense is an investment in the future, is an investment in the security of the world, right? We need to have the best technologies, the best trained soldiers, and clearly have the best intervention strategies to prevent any force like ISIS from threatening our security and the security of the people in the Middle East.
Okay, now for our final and most important question. Are we safe in America?
Absolutely not. ISIS is everywhere. I mean, they are unpredictable, they are uncanny, they are very dynamic in the way that they threaten our security as a nation. You, at home, Americans, I want you to pay attention to this. ISIS is coming. Will you be prepared?
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for your time. Now back to you, Caroline and Nick.
Thank you, Sean. That ends the topic of ISIS and the US coalition. We will return after these short messages.
In Hillary Clinton's America, the system stays rigged against Americans. Syrian refugees flood in. Illegal immigrants convicted of committing crimes get to stay, collecting Social Security benefits, skipping the line. Our border open, it's more of the same, but worse. Donald Trump's America is secure. Terrorists and dangerous criminals kept out. The border secure. Our families safe. Change that makes America safe again. Donald Trump for president.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
We're back on Calafia News, now with Sean Terzian.
The topic we'll be discussing right now is Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is a political group that had begun in 2013. The cause of this group is the deaths of many fellow black people by the police. In an article submitted to Breitbart, citizens have been complaining about the black people's so-called protest. In the article, it is said that the black people have been graffitiing Black Lives Matter on walls. The citizens claim that this is uncalled for and considered vandalism and destruction of property. The citizens believe that these protests should be stopped and life should go on as it is.
The vandalism that they are committing not only affect the city, but the people as well. Apparently in the article, they had also spray painted "Kill White People" on the walls. By doing this, they are causing more hatred between the blacks and whites. The whole cause of this Black Lives Matter began from the police shootings towards these blacks. The thing is, if the blacks did not resist the cops in the first place, then maybe there might not be so many deaths of their race.
That could be true, Nick. Now we'll turn to Caroline to interview individuals.
Thank you, Sean. We are here with Professor Steen from the University of Houston, author of U.S. History, Modern America. Mr. Steen, what is your point of view on Black Lives Matter?
You know, I think that the movement itself
is really dangerous to the American public because it instills an environment where people are afraid to even get out of their own house because of really unlawful and unright protests.
If you were president, how would you deal with the protests?
To deal with these protests, I think that we need to portray to the media to stop giving them attention, because I think what it's doing is it's fueling more crime and criminal activity throughout neighborhoods.
Very interesting. Thank you for being with us tonight. Back to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Caroline, for a fantastic interview. Before we move on to our final topic, the presidential election, here's a short clip that will present the upcoming election.
Hillary Clinton brags about her experience.
As soon as he travels to 112 countries.
But beyond the flight miles, what's the Clinton record? Chaos in Libya and Syria, the rise of ISIS, a failed reset with Russia, supporting the disastrous nuclear deal with Iran, a terror attack in Benghazi, 4 Americans dead.
Hillary has experience, but it's bad experience.
Future 45 is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The video that was presented was published by The New Republic. This video represented Hillary Clinton as a terrible candidate. It showed how she had bad experience as a secretary. The whole purpose of this clip was to announce to the viewers that Clinton was not the right choice and all the votes should go towards Donald Trump, the Republican candidate. Some of the bad experiences that she had was stated by the video, and those bad experiences were the failure of a reset with Russia, support of a disastrous nuclear deal with Iran, and the death of 4 Americans from the terror attacks in Benghazi.
According to Conservative Review, Trump is an excellent choice for one of many reasons. One example is Trump's ideas on education. Trump understands the power of the marketplace in our education system. He advocates the improvement of education by empowering parents with a combination of school choices. When dealing with the environment, Trump wants to eliminate most wind turbines so birds such as the bald eagle do not die. This shows how eco-friendly Trump is.
It is quite difficult to see who is the perfect candidate. So why don't we go to Nick so that he can interview individuals to see their idea on who the perfect candidate really is.
Thank you, Sean. We are now here with Josh Roberts from Kansas City. So Josh, who do you think the perfect candidate will be in this upcoming election?
I think Trump will be the perfect candidate. He's a great man, great personality, and great business. I think he'll truly make America great again.
Second question. How will Trump's policies benefit our economy in the U.S.?
Well, Trump is a very experienced businessman. He's been doing it all his life. He has many great businesses and been making the economy of the United States great ever since he first started. I think he truly make the economy great.
Thank you for being with us, Josh. Now back to the studio.
Thank you, Nick, for that informational interview. That is all we have tonight on Calafia News. We will be back next week on Tuesday at 8/7 Central.
For news 24 hours a day, go to calafianews.com. Sponsored in part by Hoku Gems, where you can discover your style.